Hello, my monstrosities. Hello once again. Today I bring to you a DbD roadmap review. With us being two-thirds of the map done, just about, I figured it's time we look back on what happened, think about how it played out, and possibly prepare for the future. So, let's go ahead and get into the roadmap that they gave us for 2024. DBD, or I guess I should say behavior, back at the start of the year for the months of January through March, they wanted to introduce and did introduce several things along here. Starting with the FOV slider, I've put it on to max. I think my ankles get taken less, and it's just accessibility. So I don't really have anything in depth on that one. But then next we have the solution for 3genning, which I don't know if it's effective, if I'm being honest, because it's one of those things that doesn't seem to be there. Because every time something happens in the game that's like, no, bad guy, you're doing this in a way that's making it unfun for other people. People quickly realize that they haven't needed to do that. And this is going to my theory that bad guy mains get better at the game faster. That's going to be a hot take, but a lot of people on the survivor side are literally just casuals that play it once in a blue moon with their friends and they want to get chased by Michael Myers. And another thing about the survivor side, this is just straight up a biased take. I'll let you know what is about to come out my mouth is just straight up biased take. Is that I don't see them wanting to improve too much. Like, I don't see survivors or hear survivor mains watching videos to figure out how to loot better or, you know, anything of that sort. Meanwhile, when you're playing a bad guy, you're just like, man, how do I use this power? How do I do things? And that could be the nature of the game's design, where you don't need to do anything extra besides run away. Like, somebody can't teach you how to hit space at the right time sooner. Well, I guess they could try. But that's besides that and running, I don't see people wanting to learn more. So, when something comes out like the solution for 3 gen and the solution for camping hooks, and like you can't get grabbed from the hook anymore, like unhooking somebody. You if the bad guy is around a certain proximity, the person on the hook can get off. Now you can't kick the gen a billion times with perks, or else they freeze. And meanwhile, that just makes the bad guy players, in theory, in my theory, learn the game more and become better. And the more these things happen, the more I hear about solo queue being miserable. Oh, all these changes for the bad guys just makes the game miserable. And I'm just like, what changes for the bad guys? What are we talking about? Are we now? We'll say Huntress getting 10 hatchets. Stupid. I still hate that. Um, Clown having another bottle instead of just separating the inventory amongst the bottles, that's still stupid. But I'll get to that down here. But you'll see this came out here, and then we'll talk about what's here before I get into it. But in general, I would like to know if things like this are more effective because people are actually trying to get better at the game or what. But for now, I say that it's okay. I haven't seen any more videos about holding the team hostage for an hour or something like that. I haven't seen it. Now, if you know that that's come out recently, feel free to let me know in the comments. But that's that. Then moving on to the bad guy updates. They keep. They just need to stop at this point. This is bad. Sadako. She exists. She's different than how she was. Uh, and she's also kind of the same as how she used to be. Being honest, they did a whole lot of nada. That was a lot of resources to circle back to nothing to somebody that they probably didn't have to touch anyway. If somebody loads into a game and the only thing they know how to do is click on a gen and run, that goes to my kind of rant up here that people aren't trying to get better at this game. Like later in the game, Sadako should not have been doing as much as she did, but I really also think behavior looked at the fact that one person dedicated a lot of time to one specific playstyle and just did that. But coming off of the bad, we have the good. Hillbilly. That was a very good change. I haven't seen nearly as many Hillbilly mains since, this introduction. Everybody seemed to get tired pretty quickly. But I also don't play Survivor like that. So if you're surviving, you're like, oh man, these hillbillies are still out here just rampaging. Please let me know. But I haven't seen Billy nearly as much anymore. And I know that's what happens when people get new toys anyway. But yeah, I don't. Sure. We'll take Billy. Billy's good. And Blight's add ons? Fine, I suppose. They're fine. Uh, they also got touched. I hear less complaining about Blight, and I think that's okay. So we'll take 2 dubs here. That's a loss, net neutral, and a positive. So far, net positive so far. Then we get to the perk updates. Save the best for last. Another one that I felt didn't need to be touched, but they did it because it's been a while. Stabiffle was essentially the bad guy's dead hard, if I'm being honest with you. Not in the same efficacy, because you essentially avoid one person. But going to a current hot topic in the game, tunneling is the best strategy. Which, surprisingly, last I checked on that poll that was run by, um, that was run by, I believe it was Scott Jund. Yeah, it's just like people were like, no, it's not the best strategy all the time. Which, if you just do it willy nilly, it's not. But I don't know. I felt like that should have been an obvious yes, it's the best strategy. But I digress to say that Stabiffle was really good in that situation and it just made a bad situation worse. But I don't think it was insane. Like E. E can transform the game. Stabiffle, you just have to know how to play around it by having the obsession take hits. Which now, yeah, it's kind of dead in water. Like I don't understand if anybody's really trying to make use of it. Like I've used it in a video just to get a feel for it, but it's not there anymore. Not to say like it was always there, because again, I feel like it shouldn't have been, but that's me on a lot of things. Is Dead Hard the best thing? Is Old Dead Hard the best thing in every situation? No. If you are falling out of a window, you want Ballard's Landing. If you don't know how to hit the timing, you didn't want Dead Hard. Things like that. But it's always consistent. And that's what the Biffle was and no longer is, if I'm being honest. I do not see you trying to hammer Stabiffle and everything. And to that extent, I am kind of grateful that they tackled it as a bad guy main, because the second somebody does something, oh my gosh, Stabiffle's going to be nuts on this guy. And it's just like, you all say that about everybody. You won't stop running it on Pig, who until recently you didn't like the M2. You all wouldn't stop running it on Clown, who literally couldn't save stacks. I didn't understand why people were like this, but hey, now I have less people in my comments telling me Stabiffle is the end all be all. Then we go to Grim Embrace, which people were, oh my gosh, it is the dawn of a new era. It is the best gen, slow down, progression, regression, do it all. It spots everybody. I can leave. I can do everything. Oh my gosh, I love this perk. And now look at the current status of today, the state of game. And guess what? I told you then, and I'm telling you now, because now you can quite see it. People aren't running this perk like that. People highly put the value over this. And I really don't understand what they saw. They saw the DMS pain risk combo and then figured they could do it again. I really have no clue what people saw in this. Like, I'm not going to say that it's bad, not by any means, but it definitely is not as good as people made it out to be. Like, half the value is gone. If you're doing the bad guy role efficiently, half the value is gone in the first two hooks. Now, mind you, if you want to throw on pop, pain res, jolt on top of that, sure, but I highly doubt Grim Embrace was the thing that's going to help you do that on top of that, right? Like, you were just going to do that anyway, and you were going to get the same result with or without Grim Embrace. You could just walk over to there and kick it, pop it, pain res it. You know, like, I don't understand why people thought that Grim Embrace was the thing. But yeah, I'm once again telling you, I told you so, that this wasn't an issue. Then we go to Quick Gambit, which I think I've seen a collective one person run since they put it in the PTB, and I'm pretty sure that was on that PTB. Whew, I don't even know how they save it. Let's see. Let's see. How do we fix Quick Gambit DbD? Uh, you know what? How about you just remove this? You remove the range requirement, but keep while being chased by the bad guy. You see the Ores of Gens while that's happening. You just get that information. And the repair speed can stay the same. I don't want to make that stronger if I'm being honest with you. Or, yeah, mm, working on the highlighted generators. Um, don't know if there's interactions that. Does blindness stop this effect? If you can't see it highlighted, does blindness stop this effect? Hmm. Is that in the trivia or something? No. Hmm. Uh, I say you remove this and just keep it to while you're being chased. That is a lot of information. So I think that's a fair trade off. I think people would actually use it then. But as it stands now, I don't I don't know. Like, just essentially make it so that you have a map while being chased. Is that too powerful? Or maybe make the range a lot bigger. I don't know. It's just weird design. I don't know what you could possibly do to make it still fair, but also fun to be used. Like, maybe I don't really want to slap haste on it either. Okay, okay, hold on. We're cooking. The auras of gens are revealed to you within, or are revealed to you while being chased. Okay, check it out. But you can recover from status effects while within a range of the generators that you can see, as well as increase the repair. Like, you can actually recover from exhaustion while running at like a very slow rate, but I think that'd be cool. Let's make it a quick gambit there. Let's do something like that. I think then you'd have some more play. Like, make it vigil while in chase. Then it might be better. But yeah, as you can see, quick gambit not there. Shadowborn, just quality. They had to change it to something. Did they change it to something good? No, no. It's good for like one meme one time that you'll do one time, sometime, eventually when you get bored enough. But hey. And monitor abuse, it stayed the same essentially. You don't have the wonky FOV sliding back and forth, so that's that. But yeah, I I think we all would have liked to see something a little bit more interesting on these than what we were given, but fine is fine, so I'll take my fine. Then we go to March and April. And along with all of this, we have recent additions to the cast with Sable, everybody's new favorite survivor, and the unknown. And before I forget about those, because my short term memory is not amazing sometimes, I'll talk about them now. The unknown is gonna be unknown. Just immediately as he came, he has left. Outside of the Twitter sphere, nobody is talking about the unknown anymore. I don't think I've seen. I think I've seen like two people play the unknown this past month. Um, Now, mind you, everybody usually does burn out quickly of the new person on the block, but whew, I don't. I don't see why you would play the unknown. It's just kind of bad because I don't dislike the character, but I really don't understand why you would play him. And that's the thing that worries me about a lot of behavior design now. Is this is fine, but like, why would I take it? Right? Why would I take Quick Gambit? Why would I take Shadowborn? Why would I take Monitoring Abuse? Why would I take the unknown? Um, why would I take Sadako? Like, they're all fine, but there's only so much I can go off of, oh my gosh, this concept is very unique that I will play it day in and day out. Like, Sadako gets a bailout because that's from a franchise that many of us watched, scared us as kids, and maybe to some people older than me, older than kids back in the day, right? Like when you first watched it. Yeah, like things like that. And you go, I'll play the mess out of Sadako. I kind of have no reason to play the unknown. Um, I want to change my mind on this eventually, but as it stands, I'm not excited about the character. The character is just fine. I really want to see people get cracked with him, and like I'm telling you, probably you do not want to put too for the casual person. You don't want to focus on the M2 too hard. If you're just looking like, man, I just want to win a game with him, to try him out. Stop spamming M2. But it would be nice if somebody with a bunch of hours, like that person that has that like, I think it's like a 13-page clown guide or whatever. I actually think it has gone up in pages since I last even talked about it. Um, but yeah, like when we get to that point when somebody is really in love with the character, then it'll be interesting to come back around. But yeah, and then Sable is Sable. But going back to what's on the screen, Mangled, ah, it's bittersweet. It's the same for 3 gen, right? Like, did the change affect a lot? No, probably not. You probably won't notice that this change happened. Which is then why I go to why did this change happen? For 3 genning, it makes a bit more sense because on a bad day, if somebody's feeling like they really want to be a very bad person, you just make the game unfun for people for way too long. Mangled, on the other hand, there's only so much time that you can be mangled essentially. Like, okay, now there is literally a time cap on it, but before, what was I going to do? Leave everybody mangled? Like, that doesn't really, that doesn't do anything. That just means you've just taken a lot more time to heal throughout the course of a game. If I haven't seen you again, for whatever, and we're not in the meta where people are just choosing to stay injured with made for this and resilience and whatever else. Like, we're not doing that anymore. So it feels like this is a change that was probably meant for that time period, but came way too late. but also I don't know. I don't know. They did it. I've seen no difference in it. People are swearing up and down that man is really affecting their gameplay where they are not keeping the same pressure that they had. And if I'm being honest, if you can't find somebody again that's mangled within a minute and a half, and you're trying to do hit and run or whatever you're trying to do with that, you that's not on the game. You need to improve on that. So I don't really know. If maybe I'm being too harsh on everybody involved, feel free to let me know. But non-factor that didn't need to happen. For the tweaks, all the baddies in this batch: Hag, Pig, Huntress, Demo, Clown, Doctor. I'll be straight up with you immediately. I completely forgot that demo had a change. So that'll tell you that I'm very neutral on it. Completely forgot the demo had a change. I have not seen anybody touch that, whatever the change is. And just to really put a cap on it, I'm not going to look up what the change was right now. I have completely forgot that demo got changed recently to some extent. So whatever it is, happy for you or sad for demo mains. Seeing as how I haven't heard any crying, it's probably a buff. And seeing as how there's like two demo players ever, still I think I don't know. I think they're just happy. We're going to Hag. I've seen Hag gameplay. I don't think it looks any different. It doesn't seem significantly better. Doesn't seem significantly worse. But that's also because like two people were playing Hag beforehand. I apologize if you can hear my background. Living in Chicago, man, they are really going hammer, hammer, hammer right now. Yeah, that's Hag. Hag exists, so I think I'll put it this way. I've seen more Hag this month than I have the last three back here. So, and again, that's probably because new thing is new, but hey, the Hag is there. Then we go to Pig. People finally let the copium from in front of their eyes go away, where they're like, "Oh my gosh, it's so much better from the PTB," because now she's actually just genuinely better. I don't see people stacking the add-ons that would have made the same values. Either way, I've ranted about that enough. Pig is better. We take Pig being better. You can't camp the boxes anymore. You probably shouldn't have been able to. It's like you can't with Seno, where you like try to stand on the box or whatever. Like they took that away. So just quality of life, and make the game funner for the casual survivor that comes in with their friend on a Tuesday to get chased by their favorite character from Saw. I don't think anybody's favorite character is Amanda, but hey, let me know if it is. Huntress. Still don't think she needed it. Don't care if it's not as bad as it was in the PTB or not as good. Not as good as it was in the PTB. Still don't think she needed it. Quality of life. I just know that as a trickster man, they didn't readjust how many knives it takes, how many knives I get when it takes more knives to down people. That's all I'm saying. Meanwhile, we got health states with ice cream truck hitboxes, more just getting more of those and throwing them faster. I don't know. I don't know. Don't know what we did there. But to their credit, they did make it so that main event happens more often. So technically, you do get more free knives. So I guess, but I don't know. In general, Huntress is good. A great Huntress is terrifying. A bad Huntress is still passable. No clue, but hey, Huntress main stay winning. I'll say Huntress is the bad guy player's equivalent of Fungmin. Like that's the equivalent. So hey, Clown. Clown is better. It's just a numerical value. And Pinky Finger was stupid anyway. I just don't really like Insta Dance. Like, it's funny when you're playing with your friends, but it's also aggravating when you're playing with your friends. Like, it's funny the first time range. So I need the first two times where you go, "What was that? I went down. Oh my gosh!" But then you run into it like three more times, or like for Huntress case, like the rest of that match where you just keep going back and insta downing one person, or for Clown's case, after you take 5 seconds to reload. Like I don't think it's the most engaging, but hey, that got addressed to an extent, and Clown is just okay, better. I'm not a Clown main, so if somebody is in the comments, feel free to let me know if that's a lot better. Doctor, Doctor seems better. People seem to be having more fun on Doctor. I'm not one of those people. I play Doctor very rarely. I used to like Doctor a little bit more than I do now. But I'm happy for the Doctor mains that they finally have something better to do than just make skill checks upsetting for people. Then we go to Sloppy, which I was pretty much talking about with Mangled. I don't really know why they did that, and that's about the end of that. Then we come to the future. I'm recording this on the 24th of March, and we will soon be going into April. And apparently there will be Blood Web improvements. Don't know what those could be, because we have it so that we can spend faster. That prestige thing was stupid. Prestige on the first time, like, I really want to know why they thought that was actually a good idea. I don't. That was stupid. It took too long to remove it too. Like I don't know what's going on in their heads. Like, well, anytime, but that one I just really don't know why. You were like, but what if somebody really wants to know and accidentally gets it? Then they don't click the button again on the next pop up. Like I don't know. I don't know, dude. So hey, what this could be? Hopefully, it's finally removing the pause between them. Just I want to go into the next one. I just want to click, bam, one, bam, two, bam, three. I don't want to click one, but it. Hi, you're at level two. But it. Hi, you're at level three. I don't want that. I don't. That's completely unnecessary. And this game is old enough that we can remove some of the flipping loading screens from this. Like, there's a lot of them already between getting into a match, and that's to be expected because you need to load in. But things like that, or like letting the battle pass fill up or whatever, and like visually, it's cool the first three times, right? Hey, I'm giving you more leeway than the first time, but you get sick of it really quick. Don't need to do that. So that's what I'm hoping the Blood Web improvement is. I don't know what it is. I don't think they outright said it, unless I completely missed that and I'm forgetting, but that's what I'm hoping that is. Then for the perk updates, another one that I told you wasn't a problem. How many people are running Ultimate Weapon still? Tell me. How many people are running this perk? When's the last time you've seen this perk in your games? Oh, everybody just replaced it with Grim Embrace. No, they didn't. It feels a completely different purpose. I'll tell you exactly what happened. People quickly realized letting people know that you know where they are isn't really good. There's this one perk that snitched on itself, but also snitched on you every time you saw the bad guy. Or rather, every time the bad guy saw the survivor. Oh, sorry. What was that perk? I can't quite think of it. Hum. Hum diddly dee, hum diddly da. I guess we'll never know. But, I just remember it got nerfed from back in the day where it was kind of cracked. And people still run it unironically every now and again just so they can have constant taps on the bad guy. So what if the bad guys had a perk that did something similar? Oh man. Who knows what would happen? Like that. Come on now. Like I think we've woken up. Well, not me, because I definitely called it from day one that people were overreacting on this one, like highly. But hey, if they still go through as an update, they'd be quite foolish. It would have to be a very minor cooldown update. Like it would have to be minor, like from 60 to at max 75. Like I don't know, I don't know, but that's that. And then DS. I'd like it not to make a comeback. Actually, please and thank you. Um, People kind of run nowadays without fear, but it's to address tunneling, which again is currently the best method out of the available options. Camping is no longer the best thing. People go, but now there's proxy camping. People are always proxy camping. That was always the better option. And you can't set a range that makes proxy camping impossible without completely breaking the game. You just can't do that. That's you need to give up on that wish now. But it's no fair. It's like people, like again, people are finally learning. You shouldn't have been right on top of the person at the hook anyway. Yeah, that just wasn't an effective method. And then slugging, I've seen people be very miserable with slugging. I don't really know how to tell you how to stop it in your solo queue games. That's one that needs a change. And I think the change needs to be a bleed out timer decrease. Like, yeah, you could give the survivors 4 minutes to give their friend to get their friends, or make it two, so that way it doesn't feel like the survivors have all the time in the world to still pump the gens, and then hence they never go get their friend that they didn't know they couldn't find anyway because of knockout. Because they were like, well, I'm gonna just do the gen, right? Like, and then when the slugging turns into like a slugging party, it just gets stupid. So that, or just like, I think we're at a time where there just needs to be. Oh no, actually, I was going to say I think we're at the point where there just needs to be a GG go next button, like a surrender feature on this and the hooks. But nobody would play a game ever again. If you've played Apex, you understand how quickly people can be back in the lobby once they get downed. And you go, so it seems like Apex is going fine. Currently, they're not okay over there. If you know, you know. Um, but also, you'll also know that's a bigger player base that doesn't really need you to have to worry about what time of the day it is to get into a game. So, maybe if DbD was a much larger game, they could implement surrender features like that. Maybe then. I don't know. There does need to be a change to slugging, though. I don't know what it could be because if you make it so that people can just get up like they did that one time, that was a stupid idea. Then people like twins, who we'll talk about, just get nuked. And if you make it longer, then like it has to be something. Maybe the longer you're on the ground, the faster you can crawl. Huh? I said that as a joke, but actually, maybe. Yeah. If you get left on the ground past a minute, screw it. Make it so that people can crawl for like running distance essentially or something like that. So they could get to their friends. This game's already going to goof, which I'm not upset about. I love things like the Nick Cage edition and the unknown. It's pretty wacky. Alright. I love things like that. So like, make it so that after like a minute or two being on the ground, you just get to sprint while crawling. That'd be dope. I think that's a better compromise than just giving up, where then you just will never play a game again. I think that's better. So yeah, that's my idea. Let me know how you feel about that, or if you got a better one. But I say all that to say, where DS is anti-tunneling, and tunneling is kind of impossible to fix. A lot of people go, well, just make it so that you remove collision. Ah, I don't know. I don't. I don't see that being great because how do you know there's no collision? That immediately, like off the record, would get abused to heck. You go, well, they just have no collision until they actually do conspicuous action, like, like the other things. Now, what happens when a bad guy gets body blocked? You can't see me, but I'm air quote fingering, not air quoting, air quoting, um, with my fingers, body blocked to swing and realize that the person that they were going to hit doesn't get hit. And that was just a free body block because somebody came out of downtown and you didn't know that, right? Now, mind you, if somebody's truly that aggressive about it, they will just run right past the person. But the smarter play is to kind of just take the hit, and then if the person walks the body block, they get tunneled out, right? Things like that. Now, you could put a time limit on it, but then if you put a time limit on it, like you'd have to layer it. So, like, if you make DS the thing that helps with tunneling, you would have to. You know what a good change would be that I'm thinking about? You know how you get the protection hit, right? You go into deep wounds. Then they get you down and they put you on top, and then it's DS again. You should be able to tank another hit if you hit the DS. That would be a buff that I think would be okay. Like, not just tank a hit and then, okay, I tank the hit, tank the DS, now I put the person down. If you make it so that the person can take another hit after that, good old Metal Man type beat, I think DS would be in an okay spot. Not just increasing the timer um, of the stun, because that can be way too much for certain people, certain characters rather. But I think that after a certain point with DS, with my proposed change, you kind of just learn your lesson, right? You kind of just, well, how about we don't do that, right? Like, no, like, I think you go, well, wow, they have DS. I guess I was tunneling. Like, I don't want it to be the old days where it's just like, wow, I guess I was tunneling. I haven't seen this person for the last hour, but I guess I was tunneling. Um, but I think that's a real good slap on the hand that still gives value, and also they have to go do something. Like, if they go have to mend deep wounds, they can't just immediately just be in the face or whatever. So I think that'd be nice. And then we come to the thing that I was probably dreading to talk about the most, the Twins update, because they're currently disabled and they're getting updated in presumably a weekish, a week or two. And I have no clue what they could do for the Twins. Not a flippin' clue. There needs to be less. Again, this game needs to be more fluid. There needs to be less loading screens where it's just like, all right, Victor, go. Ooh. All right, Victor's out. Victor lunge. Okay, Victor lunged. Victor missed. Oh, Victor missed. Oh no, you kicked Victor. Alright. Let me send Victor out again. Like, you understand the point from that, how annoying that sentence was. Or, not even sentence. Collection of sentences. Um, Collection of words, really. Was there. You understand what makes Twins frustrating to play. And then going against Twins, you're like, I've been on the ground for 3 years. How do I not be on the ground? But they kind of have to, because Victor can't hook people. And now, it'd be cool if Victor and Charlotte could find a way to switch places, much like the Unknown and okay, well, they don't switch the Unknown and the clones, but Charlotte needs a way to get over there quicker. Ah, or Victor drags them to Charlotte. Like if you get it down with Victor, Victor immediately starts dragging, or you can direct Victor back to you. Like you like drag the survivor back towards you. Or you can choose to drag the survivor. How about that? Like if there's two people there, all right, well, I down this one person, I'm going to latch onto this other person. Or if it's just the one person, Victor just drags them across the floor. So you kind of like, recall them till you get to a point where you're like, all right, I can take over a Charlotte here, and this would be better. That could be something to help the gameplay loop. Speed up those cooldowns and weird like stutter steps or whatever. Yeah, I'm seeing a vision. What else? I don't know how you fix the spaghetti code on twins. And also, I understand that's not really how you use spaghetti code in that per turn, but like, hey, they're always broken. I don't know how you fix that. Um, but hey, us twins, man, they need a lot of love. Do we want more twins mains running around? Sure, diversify this pool before people go again like, oh my gosh, Chucky is so OP. Like, don't get me wrong, the scamper is kind of BS, but like, there's a reason you're not seeing Chucky anymore. Still, like, you do feel the outside of scamper speed. Like, you're not seeing Hillbilly anymore because, all right, everybody had their fun, but you still have to play Hillbilly on indoor maps and things like that. Like, eh. So it'd be nice to have more people play a different character. But if we're going to keep putting out things that are just kind of painfully mediocre, I think guess everything's just going to feel very mediocre. Like, I don't know. I don't think you can make the Unknown better without being too strong, but I don't know. I don't know. There just needs to be more. So, if you have a better idea for twins, feel free to let me know. But also, if you like the video, like it. You got a comment for me, comment. And until next time, peace out, my monstrosities.